Foreign correspondent James Longman is here with more on that. And James, everything we see today has been planned with military precision, but it's also filled with symbolism.
Yes, I think it's just going to be an incredibly solemn moment as we watch the Queen make her way from Buckingham Palace to Westminster Hall in the Palace of Westminster, which is just behind me here. This is going to be some of the most iconic moments that we'll witness, I think, in this entire week. She will be brought on a horse-drawn carriage. There'll be 6 black horses which will bring her from Buckingham Palace with a household division. The palace guards, you'll recognise them as those men in black and red uniforms. They will be the ones to bring her. And then behind her will be the men from the royal family. So now King Charles, we'll see Prince William, Prince Harry, and other men from the royal family, and then the women will follow on, and they will make their way here. There will be a 20-minute ceremony or so, led by the Archbishop of Canterbury, and then it'll be over to the British people. This is very much a moment when the family is passing her over, really, to the public, her people, her subjects, so that they can get a chance to say their goodbyes. And that's what people here. I'm waiting along the side of the River Thames here, among the many thousands who are going to line up to see their Queen, their late Queen, lying in state. Diane.
And James, so many British people I've spoken to over the last few days have expressed surprise to me at how much emotion they've felt over the Queen's death. What was your reaction last night, seeing her coffin in London and hearing the crowd cheer for her as it arrived at Buckingham Palace?
It was a moment of great emotion. I don't think you realise just how moving every moment is going to be, and then you get to it, and then you're moved. And I think that was what it was like last night for London. You know, we're not famous for getting too emotional, British people. Everyone will remember, of course, Diana's funeral and the frenzy over her death. That was a horrific tragedy. I think that was grief, terrible, terrible grief when she died. I wouldn't describe it in the same way now. It's kind of a dull pain, I think people feel. A sort of a sadness at losing a loved one, a member of the family. No one ever really believed she would die. Almost like children, we kind of hoped that she would live forever. And the moment last night when she appeared at Buckingham Palace was incredibly special. I mean, personally, I just felt very privileged to be able to witness it. She arrived and the hearse swooped round the fountain outside Buckingham Palace and then made its way inside those iconic gates. And as it did, there was this kind of wave of emotion that passed. Everyone stood in the rain, but they didn't mind because they just wanted to be there. And it was just very, very moving. Her people, her subjects from every walk of life, welcoming her home, and it was incredible.
And James, in a short time, she'll leave Buckingham Palace. The coffin will leave Buckingham Palace to come to Westminster Hall, where she'll lie in state. The public can then come and walk past the coffin there to pay their last respects. Hundreds of thousands of people are expected to try to get in and view the Queen in that way, to pay their final respects. Some already started lining up yesterday. I know you spoke to some of those people. They spent the night outside, even in the rain, and yet you say they're in seemingly good spirits.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. There's a real sense of community along this line, Diane. So the first few thousand have already arrived. They've been given little yellow wristbands. You may be able to see them on some of the people here. They are the ones who are in the first cohort. They will be put through an airport-style security. They've had their bag. They will have their bags taken away from them. They won't be allowed to take phones in there or anything. They haven't been really able to move for very long and hours of waiting, but they don't really mind because it's this sort of sense of community coming together. I did speak to one man, Louis, from California. He'd flown all the way here when he'd heard the news to link up with a friend of his who was British, and they sat here together sharing stories about the royal family. It just meant so much for the both of them, and that's what it's like here. You know, you've got people who've brought down food and hampers and little chairs so they can sit and remain comfortable, because it is a long wait. I mean, these guys at the front, it's a bit shorter for them, but this line could go some 3 miles down the River Thames, possibly up to 30 hours. I mean, the police say that they've made space for 400,000 people to be able to process through London and then go in to Westminster Hall. But if it gets any more than that, there may be people joining the back of this line who are then disappointed. So I think what we're going to see today is the procession will end. People will leave Whitehall, which is over the river here behind me, beyond Westminster Palace. They'll have watched her come into Westminster Palace, and then they'll make their way here to stand in line. Diane?
Yeah, people certainly are trying to make the best, James. And one of the common sentiments we've heard throughout is she reigned for 70 years. We can wait online for 24 hours or however long it takes. Certainly the people of London seem to be feeling a duty to their queen, priding the queen for the duty she had to her people.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.